Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from the Hitting Performance Lab, and in this video we're going to go over the Back Foot Variance Drill. I'm actually updating this drill from about a year and a half ago. The objective of this drill is to shift the body weight into impact. There was an article that came out a while back on Bryce Harper. I have to dig it up, but basically what it said, it was a biomechanical, it was based on science, biomechanical and physics where they kind of meet, and it was talking about why Bryce Harper skipped his back foot, and if he didn't skip his back foot, as in like just squishing the bug, just turning his back foot over, then the article said that he'd only be putting 75% of his body weight into the ball. He weighs about 220, but round down, I'm not a math major, so say 200 pounds. So he's essentially putting 150 pounds of his body weight into impact. That's the amount of force he's got. He weighs more than that. He's got another 50 pounds, our imaginary Bryce Harper, 200 pounds. Because he shifts his body weight into the ball, you see him skipping his back foot, which is what this video drill is all about. He's actually putting 150%, 150, into the ball at impact. For those that haven't done the math, I've already done the math for you. It's 300 pounds if he weighed 200 pounds. So that is 100 pounds more than what he actually weighs. So 300 pounds versus 150 pounds at impact, he's doubling. He's going 200% of the amount of force at impact. So that's why we want to shift our weight. So we aren't squishing bugs. You really don't see any top level hitters that squish bugs. You might see the back foot not skip. I like my hitters to skip their back foot. It might not skip, it might stay in place, but that back foot unweights. That is the key, that we unweight the back foot. Of course, you're gonna see some hitters not really skip, but if they're not skipping, they're definitely not squishing bugs. They're not keeping their back foot planted down and turning their foot. Not the elite hitters, at least. So we don't want to be squishing bugs. We want that back foot to skip. I teach my hitters at least. So what we do is we use a variance drill, and I'll talk about how to differ the drill based on if a hitter skips too much or doesn't skip at all. We talk about the Goldilocks golden rule. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. So we want to train just slightly different hitters that skip too much and not at all. So what I have down here, you can see, maybe not quite as good as if we had a view over here. What we have are what I call feedback markers. So you see two yellow dimple balls. And for you softball girls, you can use just softballs, but I'd rather use baseball. Smaller targets than the softball. Softball's a little bigger. It's about, I think it's like double the size of a baseball. So how we set these up is I have my hitters, they set their back ball, they set their feet first. That's the first thing. And they set the back ball marker just inside the back foot, and you're gonna see why in a minute as we start talking about the variance of this drill. So inside the back foot, not in line with the back foot. Okay, inside the back foot. Once the back foot marker's down, then we usually use the length of our bat to put the other marker. So the other one is just in-capping the bat. Now for the younger hitters, 7, 8, 9 years old, you can move this front marker in a little bit. The front marker we're not going to really use for this drill, but it's for more of our forward momentum type drills. So we're not really going to worry about that in this video. The second ball marker, a baseball, again with softball girls, try and use baseball sized markers just because they're smaller targets. And I mean, one softball, I guess you could use one softball for both of these, because the other ball marker, and this is where I've updated this drill, it's just going to set it next to the back foot marker. So we're going to have two targets back here that we're going to be shooting to skip for, okay? So, or skip to. That's how we set this drill up. Now, for those hitters that skip too much, because some of them do, maybe when they learn this drill, they'll want to skip too much. And we don't want to skip too much because you're going to take the feet and you're going to move them closer together. The closer together the feet, so say if a hitter skips too much and their feet are too close together here, what that's going to do is that's going to make them taller. It's going to pull their barrel up on the plane of the pitch, and they're going to hit the ball more in the ground. Low level line drive at best. So the farther apart their feet are, just watch the elite hitters. Their feet are fairly far apart, not super far. Again, Goldilocks golden rule, not too far. They're not too close, not like a golfer. They're just right. So you want to have some distance. That's going to help you get under the ball more consistently, get to the bottom half of the ball. So if they skip too much, how we want to work this drill is we're going to go, for somebody who skips way too much, they're out here, we're going to do the opposite, paradoxical intention. We're going to go the opposite direction. So we're going to want them on a 5-swing round. We're going to want them to skip to the closer, the dimple ball, the farther away from where they're actually going, swings 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so what that's going to look like is they're going to take their swing. They can do it slow at first, but they're going to take their swing and they're going to skip to this ball marker. I'm actually in the middle here, but they're going to skip to this marker. That's why we want to set the marker inside the back foot, not in line with it, because we want to use it as a target, okay? So on swings 2 and 4, we want them to skip to the baseball right here. So the next marker, whatever you guys are using. So they're going to go here, swings 2 and 4. They're going to skip a little bit farther. There I actually went past the ball, so that's a no-no. Although my feet are probably pretty good, but I want to make sure, distance between my feet, in other words, but I want to make sure that we have good distance between our feet. Now, the hitter that doesn't skip at all, the bug squisher, then we're going to do the opposite. So we got to get them to the other side, so we're going to go swings 1, 3, and 5, skipping to the baseball. And then swings 2 and 4, we want to skip them to the dimple ball. But they got to skip. We want to see them skip. Now here's an option that some of my hitters actually like, and Jose Altuve just recently came out with a video where he talked about scissoring. And when he skips his back foot, he thinks about skipping it behind him, almost like Miguel Cabrera, and that's in the video. He said he models that after him. So instead of skipping forward, we want to see them skip backwards, almost like a scissor. So they would skip back, but it wouldn't go forward past the balls. So they don't even have to move the back foot forward if they skip back. The object, again, is to unweight the back foot. It's not to keep it down in the ground or to skip it too far. It's to move the back foot somewhat, or at least unweight the back foot. Once you do your kind of variance rounds, which you can do, say on all swings, you can do the same thing. So what you can do is you can have them skip. They can skip anywhere within these 2 ball markers. They just can't skip forward too far past it. Or they have to skip. They have to skip, or they can't skip too far. So you can do that on all swings, and usually when they get the idea of being able to skip between the 2 markers, be able to do that at will. Whatever swing they take, they can go. Then we do all swings. I want you to skip to whatever. You get this little area here, this gray area that you can skip to. Okay. So that is the back foot variance drill. We went over the objective of this drill, so to shift the body weight into impact, basically unweighting the back foot. We talked about how we don't want to be squishing the bug. We talked about the variance drill and how to fix a hitter that skips too far and the hitter that doesn't skip at all, and the option of skipping backward. Before I let you go,
the Hitting Performance Lab wants to know, did you know that reducing ground balls and swing and miss strikeouts has less to do with hand path and more to do with knee action? Have you ever heard, finish taller? To drive the ball, you have to uppercut. Well, we created a free video revealing the results of a scientific study that showed a reduction in ground balls of 27% and an increase in productive balls in the air of 24% over 200 swings without messing with hand path. Click here now to get the video while it's still free.